I am now live. I'm going to tweet this out here and get everybody together. It should be a fun stream. Really looking forward to this one. This has been, almost a year. No, way longer. I would say honestly 4 or 5 years in the making. And I'm really excited about where the stream's going. All right, let's see. Shout outs to folks who are in chat. Anybody here? So far crickets. Don't mind it. That's cool. Just posted it. All right. Hey, everybody. Carmine's here. Hey, Carmine. Hey, Hando. Good to see you. Long time no see, Hando. I ate all of the cake. If you were hoping to see Kako eat cake today. Sorry, I ate all of the cake. I'll give it 2 minutes and we'll get started with the stream on Territories and Dojos. For some backstory, I remember the first 2 months after you love how everyone's been in the lab channel all day. Yeah, we've been busy. We've been busy. We've been cooking up some stuff for you guys. This is a public stream though, so no secret NDA stuff. I wanted to show you guys something, but I don't know where I put it. I have the original pitch deck, the original pitch deck that Matt, Jason, and I, mostly me, made, and it's really shitty. So I'll take all the credit for it because it's a piece of garbage. But around the time that we made that, is the existence of the channel NDA? No, it's not. I'm just saying don't spill any beans. That's all I'm saying. I remember right when we started, I was talking to Matt and I said, how do you want our matchmaking to work? I don't want it to be bronze, silver, gold. I want it to be black belt, and you get a ranking per character depending on what percentile you are on each character. And then I was like, oh, and on this black belt thing, we can have people who are black belt or whatever, locally they can get better prizes, or if a black belt shows up at your venue, then everyone there gets swag or something like that, and they can feel like a local celebrity. And then they can run a dojo and teach people the ways of their school. And fast forward basically 6 years, and now we have dojos. Funny how that happens. I don't forget my good ideas. I think this is a really good idea, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So, hey Isaac, hey Arrow, good to see you. Things are up, I will tell you that. There's a lot up. A lot is afoot right now. And you will see that we have a YouTube chat here instead of our Discord chat. So if you want to say something, be featured, say something, be featured. You'll be permanently immortalized in our chat. And then if you say a bad word, I'll have to delete it and remove all of YouTube. So don't do that. But I'm excited to have you all here. Hey, Scores, you are 3. First time at a stream. Welcome. First time I've ever seen you, actually. I welcome you to our community. I'm not going to charge my phone anymore because I don't need it. If you missed it earlier today, we were playing Slayers for Hire. It just came out. Recommend you guys check that out. And it's a fun game. Their mechanic is projectiles that persist and you can interact with and explore. It's a great design space to explore. It's a great game to play. So I would say I'm would have a lot of fun designing that game as I would playing it. It's a lot of fun, really cool. but that's not what Vortex is. Vortex is still very design oriented, but it's a very different flavor. And it's by like really open-ended combos, really fast combos, insanely fast combos. In fact, combos that are so fast you can potentially attack physically. Task level of play is probably like 3 or 4 times a second, which is insanely fast, but it's not humanly possible. They do not have the dragon playable yet. Isaac has a question, and then after this I will get to the stream and I'll start talking about the slides that I have here. So Isaac says, since you're saying you want a percent base ranking, what's your opinion of using GXE? I actually don't know what GXE is. So maybe I know what it is, but I don't know what the acronym is. But that said, let's go into the presentation. I will look out for Isaac to follow up with me on what GXE is. So everything here is unfinished. Everything will change over time. Dojos V1 was basically a really simple way to make weirs feel cool. But now Dojos V2 is going to give weirs real responsibility, and they will have power. So with money. So we'll have to see how this shakes out. And of course, if you have a bad weir, you'll want to dethrone them, and then you can lead the change for good. So who we are, what are our game objectives, what are we here to do, and what are the dojos and territories V2. I want to get into all of that on today's stream. Let's see what Isaac says. He says GXE is like basically a Markov chain to simulate battles between all the people to predict where the ratings would go over time. Basically keeps a table of your win-loss with all the others. It's more accurate, but still very easy to climb quickly. It's basically, it sounds like a modified ELO system with predictions. I have to look more into it, is what it sounds like. So who are we? We are fighting game fanatics making the comeback of a lifetime. Icons was a game that had $10 million invested into it and made $30,000 in sales. That's as bad as it gets, guys. That is as bad as it gets. And I said, that's not the end of the story for Icons. That's not the end of the line. This game has so much potential. It could have been so much more, and now we're going to make it what it should have been. We're going to make it something awesome. And so we are the underdogs of all underdogs. We're taking a horrifically failed and launched game and make it something that it could have been with all of the right potential of what it could have been, and try to make it something really fun. And our goal is a big goal. We have a very big goal, guys. I'm not going to pretend like this isn't ambitious. This is extremely ambitious, but I like to aim high, shoot for the moon, and you land in the stars. We are going to make fighting games 10 times bigger than they are now. We think fighting games are the way. Our players are called gods, but our will is ignored. Finally, we're starting to get rollback netcode. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Training tools, that's the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that players want that we're not getting in our games, and we want to provide that to our players. And we think that our players' voice matters, and we're here to make the ultimate fighting game that we can. The way we do that is through making the best game we can, the best experience we can, the best connection we can, and have the healthiest, most sustainable ecosystem we can. And the ecosystem is the big focus today. On our last stream, we talked about hollows. Hollows are a very quick thing. They're in-game emotes that we're going to let anybody create, and anybody can monetize in our game, and they can sell them, and they will get money back as the artist, as the brand, as the event, as the player, streamer, esports team, etc. that created them. And it's going to be the most transparent, I think the best monetization system in video games, period, because it's super fair, it's super fun, and it's just cosmetic memes in a game. Like, how could you not think that that's a great system to monetize things, as opposed to like lives or health or weapons or whatever. It's not pay to win by any stretch. So that's hollows. Ecosystems is still the focus here with dojos and territories, so very excited to talk to you about that. First, the game. We want to be the most combo-centric, we want to be the most expressive, and we want to be the most fast-paced fighting game, period. We want the experience to have dozens of game modes because not everyone wants to have their first experience be getting their face kicked in. So we want to have a bunch of different game modes that help players flaunt their skill, but also hook new players to the game. We don't want it to be intimidating. We want it to be fun and approachable. And instead of making the combat dumbed down and oversimplified, we want to have a collective experience that is welcoming rather than the core combat of the hardcore gameplay to be the thing that we want to be inviting. We want that to be intimidating. We want it to be inspiring. And if the combat is simple and anybody can figure it out, people aren't going to be interested in learning to play. So we want to have really impressive combat, and we want to have a really approachable experience surrounding it. For the connection, we are looking for global access, a global game. We want to have peer-to-peer matchmaking, so very quick connections. We want to have the best rollback netcode in fighting games. I would argue we already have that. We will find out as we start to stress test it. We have people playing in Australia with people from Sweden. We have people from California playing against people in Asia and in Europe. We have people in New York playing against people in Hawaii, and it is great. You will have rollbacks if you have a bad connection, but just because someone's on another continent doesn't mean you won't have a good time playing Vortex Rising, which is really, really great. In terms of our ecosystem, we want to share the spoils with our players, our organizers, our streamers, and our artists, and the Hollow system is point one of that. Now we're going to talk about what's next. Again, we are here to 10x. We are here to 10x fighting games. We know that that's possible. Look at where shooters are. Look at where MOBAs are in terms of Twitch hours watched. This chart is from when Mortal Kombat 11 came out, Smash Ultimate came out. The two biggest franchises have the brand new game, and we're still 15 times smaller than MOBAs and shooters. Just like try to fathom all of the hype at EVO, all of the hype of fighting games, all of the hype of the energy of your favorite player, and multiply that by 15, that's possible. And we're trying to get there. And the way that we do that is by blurring the lines. What I mean by that is let's make a fighting game that will appeal to platform fighting fans, arcade game fighting fans, and non-fighting game fans. How do we do that? Platform fighting games have ring outs, fast movement and recovery. Arcade fighting games have health points. They have very, micro spacing, very nuanced canceling systems, very deep defensive options, and we have a game that has both of those things. Non-fighting game fans like co-op games. They like mini games, especially if they're casual players. And if they're more competitive, they like team-based strategy games like Rainbow Six Siege or League of Legends or Fortnite, right? They have these different team-based games they like to play, and we have that too. So we're a fighting game with all of these elements in it. Again, game experience, two different things. The game has everything. The experience includes co-op modes, mini games, team-based game modes. Really want you to try it out, and let me know what you think. I know that our players are really enjoying it, and we shared a stream earlier this week showing our stats on how much players are appreciating it. So, if you come into the game and you're an initiate, you're actually, if this was accurate, you would have purple text, and you join our Discord and you're an initiate. What do I do? How do I learn how to play? Well, we now have paths for you. So when you come in, you're not just kind of thrown in. You have a trajectory. Which path will you choose when you join our Discord? Are you going to go into a dojo and try to master a character and get help from people on learning that character and growing within that skill set? Or are you going to join a territory, or both? You can do both. Or you're going to join a territory and focus on the scene that you're in and cultivating that and growing that. We now have these paths. And so let me talk about what each of these paths look like and why you should be excited to join a dojo or join a territory. So, Dojos V2 are a space for mastering your character. This is the Get Good Squad. Originally, dojos were a kind of like perk for being a top player. If you were our best Zurong Weir, or you were our Ashani Weir, or our Zana Weir, or our Weishan Weir, you got a text channel that you got to name in the name of your character, and own it, and that was it. Now it's not just a character channel, it's not just a place for the weirs to control, but it's also a place to foster growth for new players who are coming in and want to get good with these characters. They can, dedicate themselves to the teachings of our weirs and their disciples to learn how to play these characters. And we've got a very helpful, welcoming community to foster that growth and encourage it. And there's an incentive for that growth to take place. We are going to foster competition through our dojos. So we're going to have monthly dojo battles. This number, 28, is going to seem really random, but I will explain it in a second. Every month, our next tournament is March 28th. We're going to have a one-on-one tournament with the single best person from each dojo, which is the weir. We're going to have a 2-on-2 tag team tournament with the weir and one of their disciples going head-to-head, and the winner of that gets $28. The dojo that has the most sages. Sages are a role in our Discord where you teach new players how to play the game. The dojo that has the most sages and are most helpful with that effort will win $28. The dojo that has the most recruits, the most new players into our Discord, will also win $28. And what do they do with this money? Well, first of all, I guess I should ask the question, what is this money for? Where does this money come from? But I do want to ask another question first, which is what's the prizing for? It's up to the weir. So if you're the weir and you own this dojo, you allocate that money however you want. You can give it all to yourself. I don't think your dojo would like that very much. You can give it to the winners of the tournaments, give part of it to the winners of the tournaments, use part of it to commission hollows specific to your dojo, give it to incentivize rising stars who could potentially be the next disciple, or use it to have prizing for weekly brackets that you want to run internal to your dojo. It's up to you. What do you want to use this money for? We allocate it to you, and you can do whatever you want with it as the weir. Again, you could pocket all of it, but we would tell everyone that that's what you did. Not suggesting you do it, but you can do it. I'm not saying that we won't have villains who decide that they want all that money for themselves, but we'll let that happen. Why is it $28? Now, this number is directly from Patreon. We currently have 15 patrons giving $112 a month. Divide that by 4 and you get $28. And the more that you give, the more that you get. We're actually matching this right now. When I say we, I mean me. I am matching this dollar for dollar right now. So we actually have a bunch of territory competitions that each will also give $28. And so I'm matching all of this dollar for dollar right now. And for every dollar that goes up, we will give more back to our community. So is there a cap on this? Basically, just to give you some quick math, for everything up to $200, I'm going to match that dollar for dollar. Everything above 100% is out of my pocket. So if it's 200%, that means I'm matching it now an extra 100%. And so you, the community, get $400 a month for these monthly tournaments. If it's everything under $350 for the next $150, I'm now matching 50 cents on the dollar. So if you get to $350, now $624 per month is going into this. If you get to $500, that's where I stop matching after $500, and I start actually using some of that funds to pay for the devs, for the shoutcasters, for other things. But right now, everything is going back to the players, you guys, as thank you, and we're structuring in this fun system that encourages people to try to become the weir so that you can now dictate and structure programs for where this money goes and how you're allocating it and what do you want to do with it. But ultimately, as our game grows, this is something that I want to have it become a $30,000, monthly allocation. And I think that this is something that will be really, really fun to play with. Once people start monetizing with our game, we want to have people allocate a part of their proceeds to programs like this. So they could say, hey, I want to give 10% of the money I give to Vortex Rising to the dojos or to the territories or to the artists or whatever you want. And so this will be a pool that we want to grow over time continuously. And this is, again, a way that we think about building sustainability in our ecosystem. So if you're giving to our Patreon right now, every dollar up to $500 and then some is going to foster our community, foster territories, and foster dojos. So let me talk about, again, first dojo battle is this next Saturday, March 28th. Looking forward to seeing the competition kick off. On the 29th, we'll be doing our territory battle. So let's talk about territories. Territories are a space for building lifelong connections. This is about, this isn't just the get good people. These are people who are like, hey, I want to hang out with people. I want to meet people. I want to have a community that I belong to and can socialize with, where I can make memes and have fun and not necessarily care that much about being good, but of course that too. And this is for the community builders. And so that's what we wanted to celebrate here, was like how big our community's grown. We now have territories in 10 countries and 12 US states and growing rapidly. If you join our Discord and you want to join a territory and your territory is not represented, you can become the War Master, and now you're the weir of that territory, and you allocate how your territory performs, and you will want to recruit to your territory, and so on. So again, where the dojos are about fostering character growth and mastery and skill, our territories are about fostering community, fostering local events. Rest in peace a little bit with the coronavirus, but we want to foster local events, we want to foster tournaments, we want to foster people getting together, meeting in person, again, lifelong relationships that come from going beyond the game and going in real life or whatever you want to do. Or just, engaging online and having the commonality that you are from the same area. And we also want to use territories as a way of fostering competition. The exact same battles for dojos applies to territories. So at the end of the month, we'll take the #1 player from every territory and they'll have a battle. And the winner will get $28. We're gonna have a 2-on-2 tag team with the best 2 players from each territory. And this will be assigned to the War Master. Who do they want to have compete in these? The territory with the most sages will get $28. The territory with the most recruits will get $28. And again, all of this, what the money goes to is up to the War Master. What do they want to do with it? What to the winners of the contest, to the sage that did the most, to the person who recruited the most? Do they want to recruit commission hollows? Again, incentivize a rising star in their community, have prizing for weekly brackets for people to compete in, and so there's more of an incentive to join it. What do you want to use the money for? That's up to the War Master. The first territory battle will be next Sunday, March 29th, and we will be streaming both of these in the Discord, and we will have commentators for it. So very excited to kick these off, very excited to be running both of these. And again, if you're not in the game, you can sign up right now, vortexrising.com, play the pre-beta for free right now, and I will show you how easy it is. So I am on vortexrising.com right now. I'm going to resize this image here, and you simply sign up, and it's that easy. So I'll go Chris Kowalik, here's my email, you sign up, you click join our movement, and you're done. And it says you need to verify your email, so make sure you do that. Check the junk folder, and then boom, here's my referral code. So if I want to refer people, I can start referring people. My territory is New York. I want to help New York out. I can send this to a couple of my friends who don't even have to be in New York, but I get points for recruiting them as someone from New York. And then there's all these other rewards that you get for referring people, which I'm super excited about as well. And then here's hollows. I'll show off hollows again. These are in-game emotes that, again, if you're an artist, a streamer, event organizer, player, or brand, you can sign up right now, drop a link to wherever you have the greatest following, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever, and sign up. And if you have already, thank you. We will be in touch. We have not yet reached out to our hollow applicants yet, but we will. And we actually have a meeting in 30 minutes to help build out the payment system, where we will be able to send you guys the funds from your hollows very, very fast. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about the ecosystem across the hollows, across the territories and the dojos. Again, we just want to show how we want to cultivate a thriving and healthy community. We want to foster positions of responsibility to everyday players. And if you have any ambition, any interest, we would wholeheartedly encourage you to sign up, become a War Master for your territory if you don't already have one. If you already have a War Master, I'm sure they would like help. And help organizing events, help organizing and structuring all these things. And of course, this is a team effort. There's a meta team effort here. If you've got a great system for your territory, you do want to share that with your fellow War Masters or your fellow dojo leaders, because the better and bigger the ecosystem is, the bigger the prize pools will be for everybody. So I hope that this is a great system. I think it's a great, even though it's a V2, it's a V1. We will iterate on this, we will grow on this, and I'm very, very excited about where Vortex Rising is going, and it's still just the beginning. So with that, I want to leave the next 20 minutes to questions, and then we'll cap the stream. But that was it, guys. That was what I wanted to show off, to announce that we have a tournament coming up next Saturday, next Sunday, where we're going to have the best players representing different territories, representing different characters for the dojos, and we will have a showing of who's recruited the most people, who is contributing the most to onboarding those new people, onboarding those initiates through the Sage system, and we will have prizing for them. Arrow has a fantastic question. Will there be in-game integration of dojos and communities? Absolutely, we will have that. I don't know what it will look like, but we will go to the ends of the earth to facilitate that and make it as cool of a thing as possible. Maybe we will have dojo-based skins, where you can only wear a certain skin if you're in a certain dojo, or you have a certain rank within that dojo. I would love to do stuff like that. Hando says, should territories encompass regions rather than single states? I think that's a great question as well. I don't have an answer for you right now. I know that right now we are doing single states and territories like Ontario as provinces or countries for places outside of the US and Canada. But for the most part, it is specific states or countries. Prismata has a pretty good in-game stream dojo integration if you want to check that out. I would love to. Isaac says territory should change depending on population density. As we grow, we will probably shrink the scale, and we might have territory mergers, right? Where we go, okay, MDVA or north, so northeast, southwest, northwest. We might have territory mergers. We'll have to see how it goes. But right now we're starting with states. We'll see how that goes and iterate from there. And I'm sure as we get more and more dense, each of these territories and dojos will need to have their own Discord server, and they'll have their own sub-regions within them, right? But we want to start at a level where I think it makes sense. So right now it would be state-based. Again, we'll see how the tournament signups go. Maybe we'll have to say, you know what? Here's Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, Southwest, Central America. That's those 5 regions, and then we've got Canada, and then we've got like every other country or even continent. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Do whatever division splits up Val and Cicero. Unfortunately, they're both in Maryland. I don't know what we can do about that. I think, Arrow, you might be right. We might have to make it continental, but we will see how it goes. I mean, Maryland's going to be really strong. Our top 2 players are both from Maryland. Yeah, I think it's going to be up to the War Masters exactly how they want to run their territory. If they want to stay independent, they can. If they want to merge with other War Masters, they can do that too. But they were there, it's theirs. So they're running the local, they're running the channel, they're running their group. I think it's going to be up to them. If they see that other War Masters are combining forces, it might be in their interest to do that too. Just so they can get the best player pools that they can. I'm gonna have to, make sure that these make sense, that we're not like merging Maryland with Australia just so we can get like an all-star team. But we'll play it by ear. How does the War Master change? If your War Master disappears, then we'll replace them. War Masters are really easy to apply to and become. In the Weir system, you have to outcompete them. In the territory system, I think it's application based. It's like more like a guild where the current War Master would approve you basically after like the first 3. So I might appoint 3 War Masters by default. The first 3 people who want to get it, and then after that they have to agree to vote on more War Masters or not. If anyone's inactive, they can replace them. If you like team item play combos in Smash, is there anything like that in Vortex? I would say item play gives you range, gives you a lot of flexibility, gives you the ability to combo extend at advanced distances that your character normally would be able to. And we have all of those things. We don't have items, though. Arrow's thinking very far ahead. He says, we'll have a World Cup soon. I don't know about that, but definitely if this goes well, I could see it escalating to something like that. Link bombs, not actual items. We do not have anything like that yet. But we do have a lot of ways to combo extend at a distance, especially for like characters like Athigalu and Kid and Raymer. They have a lot of tools. We do have Kid has a grenade, so that's kind of a link bomb. It's not exactly 1-to-1. And Raymer has a grenade too. NBA police. I just leaked it too. That's okay. Have there been non-Smash players that have been interested in Vortex thus far? Yes, there have been. That is currently not our focus. We want to focus on the game first, and then we will kind of ladder down on those other things, like the experience. We want to make sure we've got a great game first and foremost. I think we're like 90% of the way there, honestly, from like a high-level perspective. A lot of mechanics aren't really going to change anymore, just more being massaged. And now we can start focusing on the training tools, the different game modes, the co-op modes, our platformer modes, our co-op modes, the stuff that gets the kind of casuals interested, the competitive non-fighting game players interested. And so we're going to start focusing on those, and that's in the experience section. And once we focus on the experience, then we'll start getting a lot more non-fighting game players interested. But I will say that at CEO Dreamland, there was like a big Guilty Gear player who was super excited to play. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is like the perfect crossover platform fighter, arcade, or anime fighter that I've ever seen. If regions prove to be difficult, would I be opposed to having a made-up in-game map that people join? No, not at all. I think that there will be ways that we evolve the system over time, but I think right now, there is a out of in-game world, aka real world map that people are on, so let's just use that, and then if we need to, we can evolve the system accordingly. And again, yeah, a unique chroma. for each character, I think is a great idea, and that's just the beginning of what is possible. I mean, we own the code. We can write whatever, literally, if you can imagine it, we can make it in the game. So if it's awesome, we're probably going to do it eventually. It's just a matter of time. We are open to change always. Everything can be better all the time. So really glad to have these questions and suggestions. Regional coat of arms. Yeah, I think that'd be sick. That's like the hollow. You can have a hollow. Regional, like, hey, representing, you know, my region here. I think that'd be sick. Maryland's going to be pretty OP. I don't know if Cicero and Val are good recruiters, though, so I think they're going to get kind of caught up eventually. Why don't I talk about the territories we already have, and then if we don't have one, that could be your calling to apply to be a War Master and take that land is up for grabs. You can just grab it. So here's what we have. We have California, Georgia, Illinois, Kentucky, Michigan, Massachusetts, Mexico, Maryland, New York, Norway, Oklahoma, Ontario, Canada, Spain, South Carolina, and Texas. And if you did not hear your territory there, it's up for grabs. You could be the War Master. You can be the entrant as the best person. And you might have the most recruits, and you can win some money and start recruiting people to join your territory if they're in it. I'm New York. ADCT is New York. I think New York's got some really good talent. We got, I said cookies. I said no cookies. I don't know where Light's from. Is Light from New York? Oh, damn it. He's Illinois. Shit. Alright, well, I need to start recruiting some good players. I'm gonna, like, hit up the Moon or, like, Hacks or something and be like, yo, let's go. The only people you know from NYC are us. Yeah, me too. I don't know Hacks or the Moon, but I know they're good. My first Smash local I ever went to, my first game was against the Moon. He just obliterated me. Loyal is also New York. I think MD and New York are going to be two hot territories. I'm going to bet my money on New York winning the territory competition, even though Cicero and Val are New York. I mean, Maryland will find a way. You can't forget Loyal. Hey, Bo Scotty, you could be working with Light. He's a very, very talented kid player. Very talented kid player. I think this is also a good time to make this announcement and launch this program, because with everything with the coronavirus, our war effort and our War Master program, which was largely focused on, the version 1 was very focused on local events, has been, you know, kind of killed, frankly. And so we're going to wait it out. We've got version 2, which is now all online. And once the local events start coming back, it's going to be a hot time to be a War Master, because you guys will have a crew. You'll be able to go to locals and start showing up, which will be a lot of fun. So post-Corona will be a great time to be a Vortex Rising player. Are you willing to reveal when Afigalo rework is coming so I know if it's safe to stop playing anybody but them? I've been trying to work on it every day for the last week, and something else keeps popping up that breaks that I have to fix it. I've tentatively scheduled the Afigalo Weir tournament for next Thursday, so probably going to do it this weekend. Not going to do it today, but I will be doing it this weekend, absent some colossal issue. And I'm really excited to do it. It's going to be really fun. Yeah. Is there a time plan for the unreleased character you talked about last public stream? The acrobat character, I don't know if the acrobat character is even our next character, honestly. I think that our next character might be another flying character, where it's a cross between a spacey and like a zoner. They're like this energy ball person, without kind of giving it away. Yeah, I love 3 flying characters. We got Ezzy, we got Kid, and we'll get this third guy. He might be next. Arshoda might be next. I don't know. But timeline-wise, it comes down to our 3D modeler polishing the shapes and profiles of our existing characters, and our animators cleaning up the new moves we put into the game, and yeah. And then we'll start working on the new character. So probably this summer. ADC's on the money. Visual updates, shaders is a work in progress. We are hitting some like technical roadblocks that we're working through right now. On the animation front, we are, one by one updating the animations, cleaning that up. On the UI front, it's very placeholdery right now. There isn't a lot of flavor to the existing UI, so we're going to start kind of splashing that up soon, and we'll be sharing some concepts for that relatively soon. Thanks for the question, Arrow. Wow. Anything else, folks? 3 more minutes. And then I gotta run and prepare for our Vortex Hollows meeting. Do we ever get an artsy brunette who uses something like a paintbrush? Sounds like Slayers for Hire. I don't know. I think that that's their design space. For us, it's a very different approach to player exploration and creativity. But instead of having a character who can go backwards in time, I would have a character who can go forwards in time. And I don't even know what that means, but that's much more Vortex than going backwards. Training mode is part of the experience, and that will start to get worked on once we get Afigala reworked, Solo Assist worked in. Yeah, and then it's training mode tools, matchmaking tools, lobby tools, lot of experience stuff. Yeah. Our acrobat is kind of that vibe. She's like a big musical person. It's like a Jet Set Radio kind of flavor, but not exactly. And an acrobat combined. Kind of fun. Or that guy named Lucio from Overwatch. Like without the rollerblades, but like just kind of like a hip, cool chick who likes music and is also an acrobat, and like that's pretty cool. She's not coming for a while though, just because reasons. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe end of this year. I don't know. We'll have to see. Shout out to Valnashir, who just started playing Slayers for Hire. The game's good. Any last questions? Last minute. And I'll run. But this has been a good stream. Good questions. Good engagement, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Music. Always new music all the time. We just added a last minute track into the game. We are going to show off some of this stuff soon. I've been saying that for a while. But yeah, we're going to try to get it on YouTube, I think, in the next week or so. Put out some of the new music that our awesome music guys have made for us. Can I stick around for GXE? No, I need to prepare for this next meeting. But I want to hear about it. I just can't do it now. I'm sorry. But if you post it somewhere, I'm going to see it eventually. Peace. One last question from Riley. What do you prioritize for spectatorship? For spectatorship, the core game needs to be like fun and compelling and exciting and interesting, and you're always on the edge of your seat and you don't know what's going to happen. And so from a gameplay design, you don't want to have decision trees that converge onto certain like paths or combos. You want it to be very varied. In terms of the spectatorship, it needs to be flashy and fast, and it also needs to be clear and readable. I think we've got a lot of flashy and fast, and we need to go clear and readable now. In terms of the regular gameplay, I think about and you need to have a lot of information. So I think a lot of stats that help you tell a story and understand the story of what's happening here. Is this player playing good? Is this player playing bad? Like, we want to have information available so you can figure that out. And then for the other game modes, I think it just needs to be fun to watch. It needs to be fun, and the people need to have fun, and people need to be like laughing and like, oh my god, this is so crazy and stupid and whatever, and it's just a blast to watch. But that's different than the core competitive mode. Thank you for the question, Riley. That was a good question. And now I am out. Thank you, guys.